cities and school districts will cast their vote in the May election. On the ballot, everything from multi-million-dollar school bonds to city council races. Tonight, we take a look at some of the big issues East Texans will decide on.
We had a better turnout than I was expecting, but it was still disappointing.
Smith County Elections Administrator Michelle Alcon is talking about the early voting turnout for the May City School election, with a little over 1,800 people voting in person in Smith County.
So that's better than the 2021 turnout, definitely worse than the 22 turnout, which makes sense. The 22 turnout was actually ended up being a countywide election, not just specific political subdivisions.
Among the big races in Smith County, a school bond election for Chapel Hill ISD, where voters will decide on 3 propositions totaling $113.9 million to fund new buildings and safety improvements.
We actually called a bond last year, and that bond failed by just a handful of votes, and so we're back at the table primarily because we want to ensure that we're providing a high-quality, safe environment for our students to learn.
Carthage ISD voters will also decide on bonds totaling over $39 million. The 3 propositions would fund renovations at the intermediate school, the second phase of a new baseball-softball complex, and technology. In Hopkins County, voters living in Dike will vote yes or no to making Dike an official city, an effort to stop future developments like a controversial solar farm already being built.
We love our community, and I think anybody that has a small community can understand both sides. I voted. I hope that everyone votes, and it's in God's hands now.
If you knew what this land looked like before, it will break your heart, because there was cattle on it, there was ducks, there were all kinds of deer, wildlife, and everything out there.
East Texas voters will also decide on a number of school board, city council, and mayoral elections. Regardless of the location, ID requirements remain the same.
So the most common form of ID is a Texas driver's license. Bring that in with you when you come and vote. There are other forms of ID that can be found on our website that are acceptable, but just bring that in with you and you can check in and vote.
To see a comprehensive list of the races being decided on tomorrow, scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen or go to kltv.com, scroll down, click on the big red box, and you'll find a link to our elections page, which is also where you'll find results beginning tomorrow night at 7 o'clock.